The entertainment world was sent into a frenzy when shocking news about two of China's biggest stars, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, surfaced online. Over the years, their close, almost unspoken bond has been the subject of countless fan theories and heated speculation. But nothing could have prepared fans for this: the emotional revelation that the two have been in the process of adopting a child, a journey filled with hurdles, secrecy, and a love that transcends labels. It all began with a blurry photo circulating on forums, Wang Yibo holding the hand of a small boy at an international airport. Not far behind them was Xiao Zhan, seen smiling gently while carrying a bag filled with children's toys. That didn't look like a casual trip. They looked like parents, one Weibo user wrote, a comment that quickly gained traction and sparked widespread debate. While both actors have long been private about their personal lives, often dismissing rumors or leaving them unanswered, this time felt different. There was a heavy silence, one that only added to the growing suspicion. Soon after, official reports confirmed what fans never dared to believe. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan were in the final stages of adopting a 5-year-old boy named Haren, who had been abandoned at an orphanage in Yunnan. A long and emotional battle. What many didn't know was that this process had quietly been underway for nearly 2 years. The two chose to keep the journey private, both to protect Haren and to avoid the inevitable media circus. But it wasn't an easy road, far from it. In an exclusive interview with a Chinese entertainment magazine, a close source revealed just how difficult the process was. Their application was met with skepticism, bureaucratic red tape, and even outright rejections. Under current laws, adoption is typically limited to married couples or single individuals. But Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan filed a rare dual guardianship request, listing themselves as joint caretakers, something virtually unheard of and legally complex in China. There were attempts to block the application, but what shocked me was how relentless they were. They didn't back down, not once, said the insider, their voice trembling with emotion. They underwent repeated welfare checks, psychological evaluations, and surprise home visits by child services to assess their living environment, emotional stability, and the strength of their relationship. One particularly poignant moment came when social workers asked little Haren, "Do you feel safe with them?" The boy quietly answered, "They make me feel like I belong." Love stronger than everything. What stunned the public even more was not just that they wanted to adopt, but how deeply committed they were. Despite their fame, constant schedules, and demanding public lives, both stars fully immersed themselves in the day-to-day reality of being parents. A leaked live-stream clip showed a side of them the public had never seen. Wang Yibo crouched down, tying Haren's shoelaces and feeding him warm porridge, while Xiao Zhan gently wiped the child's mouth with a napkin. He said, "I'm the best dad in the world." Yibo laughed in the video, earning a tender smile from Xiao Zhan beside him. The video moved fans to tears. Thousands commented on how rare it was to see such pure, unfiltered love in an industry that often felt distant and staged. It wasn't just romantic love anymore, this was a family being formed right before their eyes. Global fans rallied together, launching hashtags like #WangXiaoFamily, #ProtectHaren, and #RealLoveWins. Fan edits of the trio flooded social media. Artworks of the three dressed in winter coats, laughing under a snowy Christmas tree, holding hands at a park, or reading bedtime stories. Shadows behind the spotlight. Of course, behind the smiles were sleepless nights and emotional breakdowns. Adoption is never simple, but for two male celebrities in a country with strict traditional values, the scrutiny was relentless. Conservative critics called it a threat to the traditional family unit. Legal commentators questioned the guardianship's legitimacy. And more than once, insiders say, both actors were warned to withdraw or risk losing endorsement deals and brand partnerships. But none of that mattered when Haren fell ill one winter and had to be hospitalized for 3 days. Yibo never left his bedside, and Xiao Zhan cried silently in the hospital bathroom, blaming himself for not being strong enough, a nurse reportedly shared. It was the breaking point, and the turning point. When Haren finally recovered and whispered, "I'm not scared anymore because you're always here," the two men knew they were doing something right. Something powerful. When the world finally saw them. Now, with official confirmation from the orphanage and child welfare services, Haren is legally their child under special joint guardianship. While public recognition of their bond still faces hurdles in legal systems, their actions speak volumes. There was no press conference, no dramatic post, just the quiet, determined presence of two men choosing to raise a child together in love and honesty. "I didn't know what love truly was, until he woke me up one morning with a sleepy hug," Xiao Zhan shared in a rare lifestyle interview. Fans reading that quote felt everything. This wasn't some scripted drama. It was real, quiet, raw, and, for many, more beautiful than any on-screen romance. Global shock and unstoppable support. At first, the global reaction was complete disbelief. Even the most devoted fans never thought this rumored partnership would evolve into something so real, so profound. But disbelief quickly turned into overwhelming support. Celebrities began showing public encouragement. International press covered their story with reverence. Even some lawmakers in Taiwan and Europe cited their case as a symbol of progress. If they can build this kind of home despite the odds, then maybe the world is changing after all, wrote one journalist from Japan. Now, Haoran grows up surrounded by love. Not just from Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, but from millions who see in their family something honest, brave, and healing. No longer just superstars, they've become symbols of unconditional love, two souls who found each other and chose not just to love, but to give that love to someone who needed it most. And for the world watching, that might just be the most beautiful love story ever told.